All right, so we are back in Athens, Alabama down here. A couple of weeks after my demonstration and our interview with Travis, we came back to see his shop, give y'all a better look at his shop, and get a look at some of the beautiful work that he does. So thanks for having us. Appreciate you having me.
Glad to have y'all back. Yes, sir.
So
yes, sir.
Let me come back. So show us your shop, where you do your work, some of your favorite tools. You've got a few tools.
Oh yeah. Well, this is my main forge, and this is where I do most of my forging at on this anvil right here. And I bought this from Tom Clark in 2000.
What make is that anvil?
It's the Hoffy Clark
anvil.
That I was told they both had a little bit of input on the design.
I got you.
And
you prefer working out of coal?
Most of the time. There are a few things I like to do in propane, but my propane forges are sort of need some reworking right now, so I don't do a whole lot in them except for this little one here we got that we built. I think we built like 23 of them one time at a meeting, and but they're real handy for small stuff and tools like all those chisels over there on that treadle hammer. You know, you can get several of them in there and go to work. You don't have to worry about them burning up.
Yeah. Handy for batch work on small items.
Yeah. Yes. Matter of fact, that all those cheese cutters I mentioned last time, that's what I did them in. I just stick it full and wait till it gets.
Yeah. Well, tell us about your power hammers and why do you need so many?
I don't know. It's like anvils. You know, it's a disease, I think.
You get one and another one follows.
Well, I built one of those Kenyon air hammers when I first got started, and sold it to a buddy of mine when I bought this little giant, which I really should have kept it because I thought this would
replace it,
but it didn't.
Different stuff.
But I rebuilt it, put new bearings and bushings, or not bearings, but the Babbitt bearings and the bushings in it, new spring. And then Tom Clark started selling these hammers, and I bought that from him same time I bought that anvil, and bought it in 2000. And then Tom got cancer somewhere around 2006 or 7, and he did all right with it for a long time, and I built the other shop down there, and he was getting real bad, and he started selling these 60s. That's a 50, and I thought, you know, if I'm gonna get one, I better get it, because if he passes away, I may not be able to. So I ordered one from him in 2008. So I bought that one, and
so that's a 50 kilogram,
kg, yeah,
and that's a 60 kilogram.
And then he passed away in 2009, I think. So, but he didn't put my name on that anvil. It's cast in the side.
Yeah,
so that's
cool.
Awesome.
Not many people. Hey, at least it wasn't me.
Yeah. And
not many people get their name in their
right,
personal anvil.
And that 250 little giant belongs to the Alabama Forge Council. It was bought September of 1959 by the Birmingham Blacksmith shop. I don't know how long they kept it, but sometime.
That thing is a beast.
During there, they donated it to Sloss Furnace. And when we went and got it, they said we'd had it 12 years. Ron Howard said, why don't we go get that hammer and get it fixed? It was sitting outside for 12 years. And so I got a buddy that had a rollback. We went down there and got it and brought it up here and drug it in here and started cleaning up and doing a few repairs on it. It had some broke parts, and plugged her up and she fired right up. Took us a little while to get the head loose, but after that, probably a gallon of grease, or oil, not grease, but we got her going, you know. Wow. And it's got real good control to be such a big hammer.
Wow. I can't imagine. I've never seen a 500-pounder in person, but
I've just seen it on the videos.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen one in person, but it's a got to be a monster. But now there's a guy in our forge, Josh Howard. He's a knife maker, been on Forge and Fire. He's got a 500-pound Chambersburg air hammer. And, we went over there one day and he let us play on it. It's something else.
Yeah. Well, show us some of the stuff you've made.
All right, we'll step in here in the office.
You crank out of this here shop.
Okay, I saw a picture of this somewhere in I don't know where it was, but I sent it to Al Stevens and said, this makes my head hurt. And of course he wrote back and said, if they can do it, we can do it.
Yeah.
And so I told him to draw it. And he drew it up and figured out which piece passed through what and which way the holes were going and everything. And
then his head was hurting.
Yeah. And then he drew it life size. I had a piece of, well, we still got it. It's over there against the wall, but he drew it. I said, well, we need a life size piece so we can measure and do all this stuff. And he came up one day and we started right there in the center doing that first ring and the pass through, and then started working our way out with the holes on that center bar. And then we did that big ring. And the first ring, I forget which one it was, but we used plasticine and rolled us out of some plasticine and, went around and started marking holes. Well, this got to be a round hole here and that's got to be a square hole there, And we made the first ring. So the first and second ring are the same. I think this ring and this ring's the same, this ring and this ring's the same, and these two east and west are the same. So I said, hey, all these are the same size. So I said, well, one of our helpers, Dustin, I said, get a piece of square 5/8 bar, cut it whatever the length was, the circumference of it. I said, mark it every inch, dead center, and we'll bend it and make a ring. And so we would lay that ring on top and count the dots and say, okay, round hole, square hole, round hole, square hole at, 6 inches, 8 inches, whatever it was on there. And then we'd punch them flat and roll them, and worked out.
Yeah.
And,
wow.
And then after we got it done, we said, well, what are we gonna do? So we made this ring here, and started putting rivets in the ends.
That's really cool.
But there was 5 of us. Myself and Al were the main blacksmiths, and the Ron and Ashton, Saxton and Dustin were our helpers. But they all, I think everybody got to punch a hole and, or do a rivet, and get hot and hold stuff, So,
lots of that.
Well, we didn't burn anything up. Dustin Patterson, he was our main fire tender, and he didn't burn one piece of stuff up,
That's quite a piece. Quite a piece. Well, show us what you got in here.
All right. I brought a couple other things in here. So. And most of this stuff is either test pieces or just seeing if I could do it, or just had a wild hair one night in the bed and thought, hey, I'm gonna try that tomorrow.
Bucket list.
Yeah, that's it. Just like that little hammer. I made these swedges to make handles with, and
then you had to make something with a handle.
I said, I got to make something else with it, and I made this up from a Tom Latané post that he had on Facebook. And they did a class down at Tannehill and did this workshop.
I love that piece.
Of course, I force rusted it, or whatever you want to call it.
I love the finish you've got on this stuff.
Well, most of this stuff is just a wax finish, the biggest part of it, and I do the repoussé stuff. I get every now and then. I just have hey, I need to do some repoussé, and I start
some light and tedious work.
Yeah, just Robert Taylor got me started on these little vessels like this. They're really good for nothing. They don't set up or anything. They're just.
Now those start out as a flat sheet.
Yeah. And I did this vessel and this thing a long time ago. Just I'd made some of those Japanese raisin steaks where they do right the opposite of what the French and everything
Okay.
does. And I thought it was pretty cool, and so I made some of them and did some things, and then that sort of got put to the wayside. And this is that piece of rail that I was telling you about that was a sample piece.
Okay, yeah.
There was one of them sitting on every step, and the rivets, actually we drilled holes in the steps. I welded those but I didn't on the other ones.
Yeah, this is just your
But
sample.
The rivets stuck out, and we drilled holes in the steps, and they set in each
Very
one.
cool.
And then they came back and put a walnut hand rail on it.
Up on the top here.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Oh, when we were talking to Calvin earlier in the day, my 11 o'clock lunchtime alarm went off in the middle of it, so don't feel bad at all.
That's a thing out of the Kalnick, I'm not sure how you pronounce his first name, but Kalnick Museum. I bought the book and sort of got to know the guy that did the book, and I would write him, and he'd send me pictures of things, and he sent me pictures of that. Of course, that's a lot smaller than the one in the museum, but it's real close to what it looks like.
That is cool.
And that door knocker is just something I did in one of Ernie's workshops.
Ernie Dorrell.
Yeah. I've been in 6 or 7 of his workshops, I think. I lost track.
That's really inspiring to me. I want to do some stuff like that. I've never done anything that involved, and really would like to. I'd like to do a raising and chasing and all that. Just haven't.
That grill right there, I saw Tom Clark and Soar Sedan do that in about 2007 or 8 at Tanny Hill. And it's really a simple grill, really. It doesn't look like it. But you still got to get them leaves through them holes. Of course, you put them through the holes and then make the leaves.
Yeah.
But that made me more money than anything I've ever done, because a guy, a decorator and a designer in Huntsville saw it out at French Mill Stone. That guy that owns that had it out there trying to show his designer.
Okay.
Wanting me to do some stuff. And that guy saw it, and he called me, and I'm still doing work for him.
Wow.
Matter of fact, the pot rack that got picked up yesterday was for that same guy, and I did that, that long ago.
So you didn't do it to show him. You just did it to do it, and then he saw it and latched onto it.
When I would go to demos, if it interested me, I came back and made whatever they made.
Yeah.
And that was just one of the things that I did.
That is really cool.
And
I like it. And you see how different these run different directions, and that locks everything together really well.
Yeah, you put 2 corners together, and then you slide them, the other 2 inside each other, and it just goes right together if all your holes are the same distance. If they're not,
That's the big if.
and these are some of that stuff that go along with the ring out there. That was some of the other elements in that particular fence.
This is a cool piece too.
Yeah, that thing there is, I saw that in a book, and just the bars part of it. So of course I had to try it. And then later on, after seeing Ernie down there in 2009 at Tanny Hill, I did that chase work in the middle and mounted it on there. Just
very cool.
And then my Yellin copy over here.
Oh yeah.
I got a board and got it mounted on it. And,
I haven't gotten into studying Samuel Yellin's stuff as much as I'd like. A little bit here and there, but I need to get some books and whatnot. But that is really cool.
Al Stevens and I guess we looked for months to find a video of him because somebody had told us, well, there's a video out there of him doing this double scroll thing.
Yeah.
And we found it at the Metropolitan Museum of Arts, but they wouldn't digitize it for us. We offered to pay for it, and they said, we said we're not going to digitize it. You know, so we gave up with them. And Al kept looking and found it at the Smithsonian. And we paid $400 and something, and they digitized it for us.
Wow.
And it's
so we have y'all to thank for that being
well,
online.
I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but we just couldn't find it.
Yeah.
And
I've watched it and enjoyed it.
Yeah,
So.
I know it's out. Somebody's got to have it, but
yeah.
Anyway, we got it on the DVD. But
we need more Samuel Yellins.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'll ever be any, but
yeah,
we need more Samuel Yellins.
he was. I got his book over there, and it's one of the first books I bought. And when I get, what am I going to do? You know, I go get his book out and look through it. And
Pretty soon you got more ideas than you know what to do with.
I'm going to try to do it. There's a piece over there that I did out of his book, just a sample piece. And that Kalnick guy, I do the same thing. That flower's on his masterpiece. And I got that twist that everybody's trying to do down in there it's real similar. It's not exact, but it's similar to his.
That is super cool. Well, thank you very much
You're welcome.
for showing us around.
Glad y'all came back. Hope
yes, sir.
you can use this.
We enjoyed it.